3, 2, 1. You got it?
That was good. That was really good.
Cool. All right.
That sound effect that was attractive.
We good? Are we
That was
rolling?
attractive.
All right, let's just cut it for a second. Can we just cut it down for a second? Kids, hey,
That was
over here.
attractive.
Hey, camera, ready to go.
So great.
All right, welcome back to the Decent Humans podcast.
God, you talk so loud. Human podcast.
I wanna make
I'm
sure
Chris
I'm
Avey. I'm
talking.
gonna eat the mic. Ice cream.
Welcome back to the Decent Human podcast. Is that it?
That's perfect.
was
That was
There we
great.
go.
That was much
Are we
better.
gonna use that better for you?
Do it one more time. One more time. One more time.
Welcome back to the Decent.
Don't do it to me. Do it to the camera.
Welcome back to the Decent Human podcast. There we go.
Welcome back. It's good to be back. It's been a while.
Glad to be here, guys.
Thank you for joining us today.
Got it. We got it together.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about a specific topic today, aren't we?
This specific topic. Yes.
We are gonna talk about
Life-work balance.
life work
Work-life balance?
Everybody calls
Work-
it work-life balance, but I just want to, why not life-work balance?
Did you change that yourself?
I did. Coin. TM.
We're talking about work-life balance, and if you're Evan Tanaka, we're talking about life work.
Well, life is work, in my opinion. No, don't say that. That's awful.
Yeah.
And that is a preface to what we're gonna talk about.
It
We
really
should
is.
probably start with your.
Well, it's just I love this topic about work-life balance just because I feel like it is a term that is thrown around quite a bit nowadays in terms of oh, how do you balance your life with your work? Do you make sure you have time for yourself? And I totally understand all of it, but to me, work-life balance it's a broader definition. It doesn't mean just one thing. I think for each individual, it means something different.
I agree. I think for one, it's not black and white.
No.
You can't just be across the board, everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone has to have their individual, what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
But lost my train of thought.
Especially in the creative space, because really, wow. No, in the creative space, it's much harder just because your schedule's all over the place. There's not a set 9
Yeah.
to 5. You're figuring out literally every day.
But all right, let's put this out there. What do you think the stereotypical, across the board work-life balance definition is?
I mean,
John- Do you have it? Do you have a definition?
if you're from where I'm from, you work a 9 to 5 and then you go home. That's
Did you see your parents doing that?
yeah, their hours were a little different because my mom was a nurse and my dad worked in malting, so he would do a 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. and my mom did a 4 a.m. to whatever, 5 or 6, but she only worked 3 days a week.
But
so.
she had a set
Yeah.
hours that she was going to work,
Yeah.
and then after that, was she on call? Was she just
No, when you're off, you're off.
Yeah.
That's it. But when you're a
Exactly.
creative, your schedule is not your own. You are on other people's time. Always.
And it's sad to say, I 100% agree with you. And I think that whole idea of what the old notion of work-life balance is, it just doesn't hold true in today's world. Because in my mind, it's exactly what you were saying, where work-life balance, everybody has I need to balance my life and my social and my friends and everything with the work. And so at this time, I'm cut off. I'm not doing anything for work. Weekends are mine. And you know what? I totally respect you if that's your definition of it. But to be quite honest, my definition is very different.
I would agree. Also, if you are, especially in LA, it's a hustler's mentality. If
Yeah.
you are not doing XYZ after hours, the city
It's almost,
will,
would you say it's almost
oh.
expected?
Yeah, if you're only doing one thing, it's okay. Well.
Yeah. No, I mean, we were talking on another episode where I was talking about moonlighting, and that was outside of my normal 9 to 5 job. And I think I was making the conscious sacrifice of okay, I'm willing to give up this part of my social life to be able to better my career in the long run and focus on more of my
Yeah.
work, even though it's something I really want to do. But yes, it's work. Focusing on my work so that I'll work really hard right now so that later in life, I'm doing exactly what I want.
And for the most part, it's paid off.
Oh, for what I'm
Okay, think about that. He's like, has it paid off?
No, but that
It's getting there.
that is the thing. It's like
Yeah.
work-life balance. It's like maybe you don't feel like it's paid off, but in reality,
No,
you
no.
look back and you're like, damn, like it really has paid
Well,
off.
I think it's like, it's not even like whether it's paid off or not. It's just, it's the conscious decision, at least for me, that I've made in my work-life balance scenario, in that I'm okay with that. I'm okay working after hours. I'm okay working late into the night, early mornings, into my weekends. Like I always joke, like I don't have weekends or weekdays. I just have days. And I'm either working or I'm not working. And I would rather fill my time at this age and this stage of my life with work that I enjoy doing, so that when I comes to my later in life, in 40s, 50s, I'm not tied down to have to work. And I think that's where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
What did you see growing up?
Oh,
I
it was a
think
very
it-
stereotypical.
Very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Like my
But I
parents,
think
my
that-
dad was a teacher, so same
That
thing.
also comes back from, like, for me, when I had my first job in elementary school, and then I had a job all through middle school. I had a job all through high school. In college, I had 3 jobs, and I was bartending at 2 bars and waiting tables at another. So like,
Yeah.
and then once I got into like LA and everything, and like I had my job, and then I
Yeah.
was also bartending and like doing the grind. Like
You'd be an awesome bartender.
I was,
I've seen you pour
fucking
shots.
terrible.
I've seen you pour
I
shots.
was the world's worst bartender. First of all, like I had so many jobs, and I was also always like going to school and
Yeah.
working jobs and stuff. So like remembering the cocktail, like couldn't, like never. And then
You're like
also like
the cosmopolitan. How about just a shot?
you're,
here you go.
you're
Boom,
supposed
whiskey.
to be like personable and like,
Yeah.
you know, talk to the customers. Like, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm just here to get you drunk and like walk away. And that is all I
makes so
wanted to
much
do. I'd wear my short skirt, my low top, and get you drunk. And I don't want to talk to you. And that was what it was.
But like you were saying, like you've had that worker's mentality since day
I was,
one.
yeah, I was raised that
And I-
way.
and I was
So
the same
like
way.
when you get older and you're like in the mix of your career, sitting still is like not something I know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll work and I'll work and I'll work. If I don't have anything else to occupy my time, I want to spend it working, because I'm still gonna like build. You
Yeah,
know?
you're still building at this stage in life. And I feel like you and I are very similar in that, where I hate sitting still and I have to be doing something.
Yeah.
There's somebody else in this trio that I feel like is very different.
So Chris has a very. I think that Chris has a healthy, also
Yeah.
like
No,
healthy,
and
different
that's what-
perspective.
But you see that now, like I very much growing up playing sports, that was my whole entire
This is true.
life.
This
Like,
is true.
I had to sacrifice all of that time when I was younger. I can still, yeah, we're good. We're good.
He's good. He's good.
All right. I had to sacrifice all that time when I was younger in order to realize, like, that put me in a position to work with people who were like in the Olympics and understand what their mentality was, to be able to understand what their work-life balance was. Because like as an Olympic athlete, that's a different sort of like regimen
Yeah.
you have every single day. And so like I was able to be fortunate enough to be around people in that way and like adopt those strategies. And like it took me time to take a step back and be like, damn, they're taking a day off, like they're making time to like take a day off and be with their family. Like that changes my perspective on certain things, because it's like that balance is very much, that day off is as important, if not more important than the days that you're actually working, right? Like my brain doesn't stop, but at the same time, like
You still need that like
You
moment to
still
step
It's
away.
kind of
This-
like
yes.
a workout, like a muscle recovery. You need to like relax your brain so that you can continue to be as creative as you need
Yeah.
to be. I like ran into this recently. We were working so much. I was working like 12-hour days, and it was constant brainstorms on how to like do different projects and how to bring in different brands, and it was nonstop all day, every day. And I got to a point where I was like, my brain can't keep thinking this extreme creative day in and day out. It needs to rest in order for me to do like better work. All my ideas are coming out the same at this point.
Yeah.
it's like when agencies hire creatives, right? And they're like, oh, we just need you to come out with creative ideas. It's like you can't continually come out with creative
You know
ideas.
what like adds to creativity? Life.
Yes, life.
So that is,
exactly.
like,
and
important.
experiencing life is the most important aspect of it.
I 100% agree. And I think where the only thing that I'm saying different from what you guys are saying is that work for me doesn't necessarily isn't surrounded by one topic or one career path. Like I've been able to find different things to work on, whether it's just like a hobby or a passion
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
it might be that's going to benefit you into the future. So I totally agree with you where you do need to take that creative brain break in what you're working on. But for me, finding that time to fill it with something else that might benefit me,
Yeah.
other than like
Is how
watching
you
Netflix
relax.
or
Yeah.
like hanging out and just like vegging out, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
don't
But
know.
like I feel like you, Chris, the only reason why like I brought it up for like how your mentality is because you do something that I feel like most people aspire to be doing.
My mentality changed like a couple years ago.
Explain to them
It
what you
wasn't
do.
always like this. So like I didn't start traveling how I travel now until like maybe March of 2021. And like I started in Costa Rica. I started like branching off from there. But it wasn't until then that I realized like, damn, like that time away from LA is actually extremely important.
Hold on, we got somebody at the
Pause.
door. I had a
And we're
lovely
gonna go
walk.
back to work-life balance.
Oh,
That is
shit.
my work-life balance. The weekend you guys were texting me and I was
Oh yeah,
just
when you were
MIA.
MIA. That's fine.
We were
So-
texting, like we were on it. We
Yeah,
were
for
on
once,
top of
we
it.
were on it.
I know.
Usually
For
he's
once.
the one texting
I
us.
am.
So
Usually,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
fair.
am.
No, you're
Yeah.
always on it. I'm usually the one that's like MIA. I'm like, oh, I'm too busy for you guys.
It's usually
See you later.
Evan, yes.
It's just because Chris is on it.
But Chris
so
is
I'm just
always
like,
the one being like, let's schedule this, let's schedule
Yeah.
this,
Yep.
let's schedule this. Yeah.
Sorry, it took a little break.
That's
Shoot.
okay. You deserve it.
It was
just make sure that you have a good work-life balance. All right? Because this
Chris
is,
has a solid life balance.
I know.
Okay,
Like-
so look, like
Chris,
Let's take it back to
let's
your
take it
work-life
back.
balance because, like I was saying before, you're doing something now that I think a lot of people aspire to do, which is like you're merging work and life.
but I think
together.
it's also from the outside perspective. I think like let's hear your
Totally.
side, like
I
of what that looks like.
I started out building social to build it around my lifestyle. And I think that if you position your lifestyle in a way that you want to achieve, then that's attainable over time, right? And so it's like, here's the lifestyle you want, here's where you're at, figure out a way to kind of piece the puzzle together, and then eventually the path becomes clear. So like I didn't start traveling until last year. And that kind of unlocked everything, right?
Yeah.
Like because that allowed me to realize like, damn, like every time I leave, like I feel like I'm making so much progress when I'm back home, right? Like
Because
we-
you had that relaxed time, and
yeah,
then you're like,
it's not
come
even
back
like
motivated.
relaxed time. It's like that idle time where your subconscious is actually working,
Yeah.
and then you come back to it, and you're like, oh, like that's what I was thinking about doing.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
like, you're able to go experience life and take that back to your normal day to day, and I think that's the value.
And do you
right.
feel recharged when you come back and like
I
you
won't
feel
say
like
that
more
I-
of like
I won't say that I feel recharged. I will say that I feel inspired in a different way because
Yeah.
I see the world from a different perspective. Because I'm around, like whenever I go somewhere, I try to get in with the culture and
Yeah.
like really dive in and understand how they live. Because like at the core of everything, like these are third world countries that I'm going to. They live so simply. They don't have shit. Like
Yeah.
they literally don't have like a quarter of the stuff that we have, right?
Yeah.
But they're so happy. So to me, like I want to understand why they're so happy and really like get in with that. And I think those are the principles that we need to apply back to where we live.
this guy's gotten so deep. Like he is just
but like it's
on
working.
another- yeah.
So maybe me and you need to take some notes.
100% because I'm not gonna lie, I am complete opposite of your
Yeah.
mindset of when you come back. So it's not me. Like I remember, I went on my honeymoon.
Where'd you guys go?
Dubai. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't come back recharged.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to come back and catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like a different mindset of like, oh, I've been gone for 2 weeks and I've missed out on all this opportunity and I need to hit the ground running as soon as I'm back. Like I remember those last couple days, I'm like, I need to get back. I got to write emails. I know there's things I need to respond to. And it works for me.
Yeah.
But I know that for a lot of people, that's not,
Again, it's
not okay.
it's individual. It's
Yeah.
totally like to each his own. My situation's a little different right now, especially because I work for Jeremy and Aaron, who own Probably Nothing,
Mm-hmm.
who have been my friends for 5+ years. I've been working with them for 2 years. But like for me, Jeremy is my future brother-in-law. Aaron's been a really good friend of mine for years. We spend every holiday, every birthday
Yeah.
together for the last several years. like every month we were all together for like a specific celebration dinner.
Yeah.
So there is no work-life balance because when we're together, it's work. When we're not together, it's work. But it's also like
Life.
our life.
So
you
it's,
know?
you've like woven it together
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that it doesn't feel like it's
Jeremy and
separate anymore.
Jeremy, I talk to Jeremy more than I talk to my own sister. I have a twin sister. For everyone out there. Her name's Jill, who is dating Jeremy, my boss. It's complicated, but I talk to Jeremy more than I talk to my sister because we're so like woven in. And then on top of that, we have Nicole working with us too, who I've known for 7 years, longer than I've known Jeremy and Aaron. Nicole's fiance, Josh, has been my boxing coach.
What up, Josh?
So to Josh.
Love that guy.
He has been my boxing coach for 7 years. So
Yeah.
now Nicole works. So like I
Yeah,
work
you've
with my
woven it
closest
in.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also cool, right?
It's cool, but there is like
And then you had Chris and I, and you
Yeah,
re-rolled
yeah.
us together. So wait, hold on. I'm seeing a common theme with Jenny. All her like closest people, she merges
very
into
loyal.
her work
Yeah.
life. Like she just brings it together
just-
so
I
she
like
can
to
work.
keep
Well, that's cool
everyone
live.
close.
because I'm gonna be going soon, so you guys can come join me.
Oh yeah, I want to
Oh,
go.
that'll be
be
awesome.
easier.
Can we
Can
do
you
a
travel?
podcast
From
his destination
From
that
Europe?
Chris is paying for?
yeah. I mean,
I didn't realize I was paying for it.
John's
John's on board. He'll come.
he's like, if you guys are paying for it, get that sponsorship money.
I do think that that's I mean, for you that works, right? You've taken like the closest people within your life and able to work them into your work. So it doesn't really feel like a necessary separate entity of
It's
like
not
work than
always
life. It's
work
just,
for me. Like I'll be on the phone
Yeah.
with like Jill and Jeremy at 8:00 at night, and we're like talking, FaceTiming, and then we'll spin off onto like a quick work thing, and then I'll go back to Jill. Like
yeah.
it works. It's complicated. Like so many layers to all the relationships in there, and like even this morning, Nicole, another colleague of mine, Danielle, who works with us, we were all boxing together this morning at like 7 a.m. And then like we get done with our boxing session and we're
love
like
that.
talking work. Like
Yeah.
this is at 7 a.m. So like it doesn't ever really stop because we're always integrated.
Let me ask you guys this, because I feel like the most growth comes in solitude.
Damn, that was deep.
Do you guys take the time to do that for your
100%.
own selves?
100%. So I will say you're married, but I live alone and I like my week is really crazy work wise and like I'm always like with people, all that. But like most weekends I am home alone most of the time because I'm like a social introvert. If I'm going to be out one weekend, I know that I will not be seeing anyone the next weekend. Like I just need to have that like recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to like, if I'm with people, the next day I need to recharge, like, or the next few days I need to recharge. Like, so vacations are actually hard for me because it's like nonstop, like trying to go do a bunch of stuff. And then
Yeah.
I have to go home and like recharge because the vacation's not really a vacation for me.
Interesting. Cause like I would say, and the only reason I said no to your question is because I'm completely opposite. Whereas, trust me, I enjoy my alone time, but where I feel the most creative is when I'm constantly brainstorming. Like if I have an idea, I love to just like bounce ideas off people.
Yeah.
Whether that's just like I have friends that like I'll just give a call and just be like, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think about that? I want to do that. I'll talk with Anissa. I'll just bounce ideas. Like constant. It helps me talk out loud, and that recharges me, and that works for my creative process.
What is your creative process?
Solitude, honestly.
Dude, I could just see you
It's-
sitting
Yeah.
out there on a surfboard.
Yeah.
Well,
and
because
just,
like I try to take the
so
what's going
peaceful.
on with. I think that it comes back to like the root of nature, a lot of the times.
Yeah.
like
I
that's.
want to go on a vacation.
But like,
first.
I
but
know. I feel like it's kind of like, have you ever heard this tale of the three little bears? Of like, like this is complete solitude, then it's like a balance of solitude, and then it's like chaos. It gets like more and more, like bigger and bigger.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it would be cool to all take a trip together. Honestly, just to
I don't
see
think
how
it'd be
it balances
relaxing with
out.
me. Just
But
letting
like,
you know.
but it's not like you just wake up and you're like, oh, like this is how I operate.
Yeah.
You know, like it takes time to be able to learn those things. I think a lot of the time is spending time by yourself. Also understanding like your strengths and weaknesses within
Yeah.
your habits and like growing up. Like
and then that's why what I'm, I guess from what I was starting with is that it's okay that everybody's work-life balance, their definition is going to be completely different from somebody
Yeah.
else's.
For sure.
And that's okay. 100%.
As long as you know what works for you and
Yep.
understand the signs for when you are, like, if you are like an overworker, understand the signs of when you've hit your like breaking point. There was not too long ago, we had consecutive drops and then an event, and like we were working like around the clock because NFTs, it's
Yeah,
degen world. You don't have hours
nonstop.
necessarily. Like you were working 24/7. We were doing like midnight silent spaces, and like it was going like 24 hours
Yeah.
until the drop. Like we were doing things like that.
Damn.
And like the day of our probably nothing event, I was like getting ready, like getting all the shit ready. I was really stressed. All four of us cried that day because we were so like
Yeah.
stressed and like
You're pushing your
overwhelmed.
breaking
yeah,
limit.
we were all like at our point, like
Yeah.
our spot.
But
where
you
we're-
also have to know like what your boundaries
Yeah.
are in order to be able to come back to
Yeah.
like a little happy medium. But like I feel
Absolutely.
like ultimately at the end of the day, it's like, are you happy doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
And
And I
like
think
living
that's-
the way that you're living.
and
And,
that-
like
and that's-
like for everybody.
And that's the important piece of it for,
That was
what is that, the fourth time? Yeah. I think that's the important piece that what I'm trying to say is like, if I was doing something that I didn't enjoy doing,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be worth it for me because of how I've decided to like shape my work-life balance right now, where I am willing to just work as much as possible. I'll do the big commutes. I'll work late hours of the night. I'll sacrifice my weekends because I love what I do.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't necessarily feel
it doesn't
like work
feel like
to you,
work.
right?
And it's also the same thing of like, I'd rather be stressed being overworked than stressed not having anything.
Yeah.
And that was a big turning point of like realizing that. It's just like, nope, I'd rather be stressed working than stressed
Because there
not
will
working
be
at
a
all.
day when those calls stop coming in, you
Yeah.
know? So like that's
Welcome to Question Time.
Why do you feel that, you know, having nothing is more stressful than the work stress that you get from, you know, working a lot?
Yeah. That's a good question,
Fair
John.
question.
That's a fair, question.
John.
Well, so I think most freelancers can probably attest to this, or people that have worked for themselves. It's like when I had my 9 to 5, I was raised to have security in my job. And I don't know if that's how you guys were raised. It's just like you have a job, you have a salary, you have a 401k, you have health insurance, all of that. When you work for yourself, it comes down to you.
Yeah, there isn't that.
There isn't that fallback security of like, okay, if I want to slack off today, like, let's be honest, everybody in 9 to 5 jobs has those days
Yeah.
of like, I don't want to work as hard. It's actually, when you're working for yourself, it's up to you. If you decide not to work that day, that means you're not going to make money to be able to pay your bills. And that's a new aspect that I had to face probably, 2 years ago. And to me, not having that work come in, it was extremely stressful. And I think there's all the, like most freelancers and people that work for themselves can like relate to that moment of we'll hit that hot streak where we have a lot of people coming in and they're like, oh, we want to do this shoot here, here, and here. And all of a sudden nothing.
Yeah. And
And
then
it's-
you're like scrambling to
And
fill
then
that
you're
spot.
scrabbling, and then you're trying to fill that spot because you still have a mortgage payment, you still have to pay health insurance, you still have to pay for your cell phone bill, and it's all of those things. So when you're a freelancer, you're your own boss. You have nobody else to fall back on. It's only you. So the amount of work you put in is what you're going to get back in return.
Yeah, so the only reason I ask that is because I'm not materialistic at all. I'm very minimalistic, right? And I only really need to live above my means, right? Like only what I need, the necessities and all that.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I asked that question, because to me, I think it's like a fundamental thing where you should be happy with less, right?
Okay.
But when you're stressed about not having as much, like you want to pay for your mortgage, you want to pay for all that, right? Of course,
Yeah.
you want a house, you have a wife, right? So you want to take care
I
of
do.
her and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I'm just a person who only needs the necessities. So for me, it's a completely different mindset for me.
Yeah.
I only need to make enough to make myself happy. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with very little.
Exactly.
So it's just a very weird mindset to me.
And what I will say is like the people that I see that are the most happiest are the ones that have
Less.
very little,
Less.
very much less. And I'm not saying it because it's like you've accumulated like all these different expenses and whatnot, but like the people that I've seen that are like the most happy, that are the most stress free, and that are living the longest lives. Like if you talk about like the blue zones, the people that are like in community that are living the longest lives are
Their
also
lives are
very
very
much,
simple.
very simple lives that are very stress free, and they're not worried about all these things. And that's not to say it's better or worse. There's just like
It's a different way
different
of
way
living.
of living.
No.
Yeah.
I commend, like, I'm happy to hear that, John.
Lessons from not
Lessons
to
from John.
say your age, but you know, much younger, more
Yeah.
wiser person.
I know.
Behind the
I think that's super wise to just be like, look, I'm happy with the necessities, and that's great. And I am not talking about jobs to pay for extravagance. I'm talking about a
Jobs to
business,
survive.
jobs to survive, and a business that I'm trying to grow. Because I also hire a bunch of people,
Yeah.
and I would love to keep on hiring
Yeah.
them. If I don't get a job and
They
I
don't
don't
get
get a
paid.
shoot, they don't get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
then it's a trickle down. Like then they struggle.
Exactly. And it's just like it kind of goes full circle. And so it kind of works all together. And yeah, so
I feel like
it's
in a
more
weird
than
way
just
you kind
myself.
of you like that responsibility.
I do.
You like the responsibility of being able to support all these different.
It
people
makes
and
me
whatnot.
feel good. Like, I'm not going to lie, on
Yeah.
when we're doing a big shoot, something that brings me the greatest satisfaction is when I'm standing there not doing anything, but I see the crew and they're just like working as a team, and I'm just like,
And they are
this is
killing it,
amazing.
yeah.
And they're killing it.
Yeah.
And this is like, this
Things
is
are coming
so,
together
this
and
is
they like it.
amazing
Yeah.
that we're able to do this. And because in this field, most of us, I mean, I would say majority of us in this industry love what we do, and we get to do this instead of sitting behind a cubicle.
Yeah, behind a desk.
Exactly. And we're on set. We're doing something, we're creating something. It's a really, really good feeling. So it goes beyond just myself. It's like
Yeah.
seeing everybody
But-
else
but I think
fulfill what they want to do.
The most important thing is your clarity on your purpose, right? Like having that clarity on purpose is the most important thing when
100%.
when we're talking about these things. Just
Yep.
because it's like you know your direction, you know your focus, and you know your why. And that at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter what anybody thinks. Like
Yeah.
you know your why, and that's
Yeah.
all that matters, and you're happy with it.
My why is just like seeing how big the team can get and see how far they can go.
Yeah.
And if I can be a part of that, I'm like, fantastic.
Chris gets really deep.
He does, dude. Like, I don't know if it's the surfing or the
not.
mushrooms. I don't know. It's one of the,
That's just how I am. Man. But I agree with John at the same time because like in sports and athletics and college and everything, like it's like I was very comfortable with nothing. Like I had to learn how to figure out and manufacture skills with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like just like you, like I had to have a couple jobs at the same time. Like I had scholarships, but I still wanted to have those jobs. And even when I graduated college, like I still had jobs. And like the teachers would come in and be like, "Why are you working here? You have a diploma." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck." Like
Yeah.
I care very much about like being happier than like what it looks like on the outside,
Yeah.
right? And so like it comes down to the why, right? Like the why. As long as you know your why, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
know your why.
All right. On that note, we're out.
That was a great piece.
How much?
Oh.
So you're talking about like creating this beautiful thing. You see, you're on set, and then you see everyone working together, and you're creating art, right?
Yeah.
So, how much of that do you care about your legacy in a way? Is my question. Like, do you care about your legacy and what you're putting out to the world and what they're gonna see after you're gone or whatever it is? How people remember you? How much of that actually factors into like why you like hustling so much?
John is smarter than all of us.
Dude,
No,
John
it's
is
good.
going to make me cry.
John is smarter than all of us.
No.
All right, John, pull up a seat. Just like,
You're gonna be
all right, you want to be on it?
I
I get it. Just
I
get
guarantee
it.
by like episode like 10, John's gonna have it together.
No, you're absolutely right. In terms of like legacy, I don't know if it's so much about legacy as of right now in terms of like when I'm gone, what will be remembered, because it's such early days in terms of like what we're creating. I think it's more of like the pride that we're able to create on set. And it doesn't go just like the content, it's the communication. It's how we work together as a team. It's the flow of the entire day. That brings me so much pride of when we look around, we see the Knocker crew, and they're just like, they're on it. And to me, like that is the most satisfactory thing beyond what the content is, what comes out of any shoot. It's just like the team knows their roles, the team communicates, and the team executes.
That's cool.
And to
That's
me,
always
like,
a good feeling.
That's above all, that means the most to me.
But that is establishing some sort of legacy there too.
Yeah, you will be building
Yeah,
something.
you
towards
are
that
building towards
without knowing,
something
yeah.
without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you want to acknowledge it or not, I think that everybody's building some sort of legacy in their own right. Like
Yeah.
Jenny has her own legacy. You have your own legacy. I have my own legacy. John has his own
Yeah.
legacy. Like
Yeah.
you are building and working towards something, and you're setting the precedent for the future and like generations that are going to be looking up to that.
For me, like I'm under probably nothing, and like there's a part of me that wants to build my own name, which is like why I'm here
For
first
sure.
and foremost. But also like probably nothing helps me build something that's way bigger than me. Like I'm a part of something that's bigger than me because like most of the world doesn't know this technology yet. So
Yeah.
I get to be a part of that. So in a sense, that's part of my legacy. Hopefully I can build myself bigger than all of that too, to like be part of something more. But
Yeah. No, I think you hit it on the nose, like being part of something that's bigger
than yourself.
Bigger than yourself, because same thing with me, with Naka Studios, it goes beyond me now. If I want to just be a freelance photographer, videographer, editor, whatever it might be, then it is just about me and the work that I'm going to put out. But once we start doing these bigger productions and bringing other people in, it becomes about all of us. I can't operate by myself. I can't operate without my DP or my prop stylist or my PAs. Everybody that's part of that adds to it. And so it becomes much bigger than just what can Evan do? It's about what the team can do.
Correct.
how do you feel legacy?
I legacy wise, that's very much what I want to do. Like I very much will make generational wealth. Like it's not about me, it's about what my family's doing after I'm gone. And like if I can leave the world in a 1% better place, then like cool, I'm happy. Like I've done my
and
job.
that is why you were a decent human.
Oh, full circle!
in that?
You just full circled it. And that is why you were a decent. God, that was so good.
That was beautiful.
But you
We're
are
done.
decent.
That was
We're done.
great.
Yeah,
We're done.
that was good.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Like we're in a point where like we have so much coming in, we don't turn anything down. And it's because
You at probably nothing?
yeah,
Yeah.
not myself, please.
Well, I don't know. You went on 2 dates. He ain't turned down those.
How many days?
If anybody's wondering, her
Cheers.
Hinge handle is no.
There's so many dates coming in. Just not turning
How
them.
many dates do you have this weekend?
None. Well, my mom's here.
It's early.
Yeah.
It's
My
only
mom,
Wednesday.
My mom and my aunt are here this weekend. So
Next weekend.
My
It's
time
gonna
is-
be
Next week.
She
No,
had her
that's-
time this weekend. She's taking a weekend off, and then next
No,
Chris and
next
I,
weekend
Chris and I are
I'm-
going to go on a date together
Oh.
and sit on a table next to you guys so that we can like over
Let
here.
us know in the next one. Me
And then
Evan
we'll
might
do a podcast.
from
We'll
there.
we'll just do it from there.
Next week I'm out of town. I'm
She
actually
just
going
left
home
me
next
hanging.
weekend. So in like a month we'll do this again.
Oh, I can't wait. Every month we'll do a recap of Jenny's dates. Oh, I love it. I can't wait to
That
hear
means I
it.
actually have to go on dates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is good. It's
All
good. Forces you out. of
Maybe
your-
one of them will stick, you know.
And then we're going to bring him on the podcast and we're going to
Oh.
grill the shit out of
Can't
him.
wait till you podcast from the wedding. Chris will be in white.
Welcome, everybody, to the Jenny and so-and-so's wedding. Live from the front row. Chris got put in the back because he's in white again. I think that's a great place to leave it, guys. Like, work-life balance, define it yourself. It is up to you, whatever that means. Don't let anybody tell you how to run your work, how to run your life. Whatever makes sense to you and makes you comfortable,
makes you most happy. That's the most
makes you most
important
happy.
thing.
You do
And
you.
on that note,
Thank you guys
tune
for
in
hanging
next
out.
time.
Jenny, take it away.
Hey, take it away.
Tune in next time to the Decent Humans podcast. Hit the like and subscribe and what else?
Share.
Share.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Thank
That was nice. See you guys next time.
you. Bye.
Bye.